You're being told canola oil is heart healthy, but what if it's actually fueling your inflammation, weight gain, and metabolic disease? Let me show you what the science really says about cooking fats because your mitochondria are watching. Alright, my name's Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach, and this is part of my question and answer series. The truth about cooking oils for high heat. So here's the question, and this question came from one of my viewers, and like a lot of the questions I'm answering here are. Is solid coconut oil any good for high heat cooking? What about solid red palm oil used in African cooking but made in Malaysia? It has a high vitamin E content. And have you researched GMO canola oil? The British Heart Foundation used to recommend using cold pressed rapeseed, which is canola oil. And by the way, canola oil is just a contraction. It means Canadian oil. Okay? so, um, it's nothing special. It's rapeseed, right? Because it has a high smoke point. But recently I've heard it's not so. Or is that just a hydrogenated version? Okay, this is actually a good question because, and the reason I'm really into answering these questions is because if you have them, other listeners probably do have them as well. So let's just go ahead and let's answer this. One, is solid coconut oil good for high heat cooking? Oh, yes. Coconut oil, especially the virgin unrefined variety, is excellent for high heat cooking due to its very high saturated fat content, approximately 90%. Saturated fats are stable under heat and far less prone to oxidation than polyunsaturated fats. It has a very high smoke point, above about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, right, for virgin coconut oil, and a little bit higher for refined. It's extremely stable. It's heat resistant, highly resistant to heat induced oxidation. You can put it on the shelf, it'll keep forever, right? It really does. The stuff never goes bad, at least my experience. Usage, it's ideal for frying, sauteing, and baking. It is also ancestrally used and extracted mechanically, not chemically. Okay, so it's a great oil that we've been using for thousands and millions of years. Okay, now the one thing about solid coconut oil, uh, depending on the variety you get and how fresh it is, right, or how it's extracted, there may be a slight coconut flavor to it that some people don't like. Just be aware of that, okay? For most cooking, you should notice it. But for some things where you're cooking a food that doesn't have a lot of flavor on its own, you might get a little bit coconut flavor, which is not what you're looking for. That's the only hesitation I have with it. Just it's a very personal preference in my book. Okay, what about solid red palm oil from Malaysia and its high in vitamin E? Well, red palm oil, not to be confused with palm kernel oil, there are two different things, is also very heat stable, very rich in vitamin E, right? And it has strong antioxidant properties. Now, its smoke point is around 450 degrees Fahrenheit for refined and slightly lower for the virgin red palm oil. The benefits, once again, rich in beta carotene, provitamin A, right, and vitamin E's. Now, understand, these are plant-based vitamin A's, so these are not as good as vitamin A's you get from animal sources, but hey, it's still good, right? And these are mechanically extracted, so they're more stable than most seed oils that are chemically extracted. So this is very good. Caution: choose unrefined and ethically sourced versions. The environmental impact of palm oil is significant unless sustainably produced. For those who are right, I mean that is a concern. You don't want to get where they're cutting down whole forests to get to the palm kernels. Okay, just buy ethically. Okay. Okay. GMO canola or rapeseed oil, is it healthy or harmful? Well, canola oil is a refined seed by the very definition. And even if it's a cold pressed form, it carries issues. It has a very high PUFA content, 30 to 35% linoleic acid, which is an omega 6. making it prone to oxidation and inflammation. Okay, now a small amount of omega-6 is required in your diet, but you'll get more than enough of that in eating beef or lamb. The tallow has some linoleic acid already in it. You don't need to supplement with canola oil or any other seed oil just to get linoleic acid, okay? Trans fat. Even non-hydrogenated canola oils contain industrially produced trans fats. Okay, trans fats are just absolutely bad for you. You can look those things up, especially they get even worse, especially after high heat processing and deodorization. So depending upon who's putting together the oil for you, yeah, it could be just terrible. Okay, GMO concerns. Most North American canola is genetically modified, which introduces herbicide residues like glyphosate. Okay, which in itself is a separate health concern. Remember, almost all seed oils are harvested using glyphosate to dry the stalks to make it easier to go through the machines. So you got glyphosate residue on almost all these seed oils. So the British Heart Foundation's endorsement of cold-pressed rapeseed oil was based on its high monounsaturated fat content and presumed high smoke point. However, cold-pressed oils often contain residual PUFAs and trace trans fats formed during deodorization, even without hydrogenation. Whoa, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay, 4. Is the high smoke point of rapeseed oil only for hydrogenated versions? Well, partially. Hydrogenated rapeseed oil, i.e., for example, in commercial frying oils, does have higher smoke point, around 450 degrees Fahrenheit, but this comes at the cost of trans fat formation. Cold pressed rapeseed oil has a lower smoke point, about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and is less stable under heat, especially in unfiltered or minimally processed forms. Refined canola oil, not cold pressed, is typically what is cited for high smoke point use. The key issue isn't just the smoke point, it's oxidation. PUFAs, like linoleic acid, break down long before smoking begins, generating harmful aldehydes and oxidized lipids. Once you start heating up these guys, especially if you're going to use like one of the biggest uses is in deep frying, and you get that oil up to 450 degrees, which is where deep frying occurs, you're forming all kinds of toxic compounds due to the heat. I would not suggest that at all. Okay. Okay. Real quick summary here. You're looking for saturated fat content and smoke point. If you look at the top of the list, tallow is number one. It's my favorite fat of all, especially for all sauteing and frying applications. Lard comes next. The reason I don't particularly like lard, I've got two reasons. One, I'm Jewish, so we just don't eat lard in my house, okay? But the other one is that lard has a much higher omega-6 content ratio than tallow. And so, be as it may, we don't eat lard. Duck fat is really flavorful. If you've ever had something that fried in duck fat, you get this wonderful flavor of the duck comes into the food. So if you're cooking something that has very light flavor in its own, like maybe chicken thighs or chicken breasts or something like that, I do prefer duck fat. It's a great fat to use for that. You can get that. It's commercially available nowadays. I don't eat them myself, but my kids love French fries cooked in duck fat. Okay, the taste is wonderful, and anything you're going to saute, it adds a wonderful little flavor to it. Okay, so if you're cooking something, now something has a heavy flavor in its own right, like a steak or something, don't bother. Right, the steak's going to overwhelm the flavor. But for things that have low flavor, duck fat's great. Okay, coconut oil, both virgin and refined, and palm oil. We talked about those. Very high in saturated fat contents. You know, red palm oil is not quite as high as coconut oil, and because of ethical concerns, I tend to go to coconut oil instead of red palm oil. Red palm oil also has its own very distinct flavor, which you have to be aware of. And of course, canola oil, uh, highly, it's a seed oil. I just don't suggest seed oils of any kind. The only seed oil potentially is canola oil, but even that, definitely don't use it. Okay, that's my bottom line. All right, if you're cooking for metabolic health, which you should be, animal fats, tallow, lard, duck fat, coconut oil, and red palm oil are ideal ones to use. Seed oils like canola, even in heart healthy disguises, should be avoided or minimized. Okay, that's your answer. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. If you have any additional comments or questions, put them in the comment section. I'll get to that. And just like with this one, if you want something covered in a little more detail, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. That's my job here. We're a community. I'm here to help you learn. So please like, share, send this video, subscribe, share this video with somebody who doesn't know about this and is cooking with canola oil, and it'll help a lot of people and help the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.